Every success story in history begins at one defining moment, the moment of decision, the moment when a person, after endless thought and uncertainty, finally says, "This is what I will do." Decision is the master key that unlocks the door to achievement. Without it, all desire, faith, and planning remain locked within the chambers of the mind, waiting for action that never comes. Decision transforms wishful thinking into determined action, and through that action, success is born. Indecision is the silent destroyer of progress. It is the invisible chain that binds the minds of countless men and women who might have achieved greatness but instead remain trapped in hesitation. The moment of indecision is the moment of surrender, to fear, to doubt, and to the comfort of inaction. When a person hesitates to choose, opportunities slip through their fingers like grains of sand. Time waits for no one, and those who cannot decide in time are left behind by those who do. Success, in its simplest form, begins with a decision, firm, definite, and unwavering. Without it, the most brilliant plans remain nothing more than thoughts, and the greatest dreams fade before they are ever born. The difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful one often lies not in intelligence or talent, but in their ability to make decisions quickly and confidently. The indecisive person lives in constant turmoil, torn between multiple paths yet moving down none. They overthink every choice, fear every consequence, and seek perfection before they act. But perfection is an illusion, and indecision is the thief that steals both time and potential. Life does not reward hesitation. It rewards movement. To stand still is to be overtaken by those who dare to act, even if imperfectly. Every decision, even one made with limited knowledge, teaches more than endless contemplation ever could. Indecision feeds on fear, the fear of failure, rejection, or making the wrong choice. But in truth, the only wrong choice is the choice never made. Failure is a teacher, not a curse, and every misstep carries the seed of wisdom. Indecision, however, teaches nothing. It keeps the mind in paralysis, the spirit in frustration, and the body in stillness. The greatest mistake of all is waiting for the right moment, because the right moment is never handed to anyone. It is created by decision. History has never celebrated those who waited. It has celebrated those who decided, acted, and adjusted along the way. Every human being stands daily at crossroads. Some are small decisions: what to do with your time, where to place your effort, how to respond to a challenge. Others are life-altering: what dream to pursue, whom to trust, or when to begin. In each case, the principle is the same. The power to move forward is released only when a decision is made. Until then, the mind remains divided, like a boat trying to sail in two directions at once. Once a decision is made, however, energy, focus, and determination align like soldiers ready for battle. That inner conflict transforms into clarity. The mind, once scattered, becomes concentrated, and such concentration multiplies power. Indecision does not simply delay success. It invites failure. Opportunities rarely knock twice. When a person hesitates, others who are decisive seize the moment. The world belongs to those who act, not those who contemplate endlessly. The person who cannot decide quickly will find themselves forever following the ones who can. Great fortunes, great discoveries, and great lives are built by individuals who train their minds to decide swiftly, act boldly, and learn from every outcome. To overcome indecision, one must build the habit of trusting their inner judgment. Confidence grows each time a firm choice is made and followed through. With every decision, courage strengthens. Soon, the habit of deciding becomes a way of life, and fear loses its hold. The successful person understands that not every decision will be perfect, but each one will bring them closer to mastery, to clarity, and to success. Indecision is the enemy that hides behind comfort. It whispers, "Wait a little longer," and those who listen spend their lives waiting. The truth is that action is always better than inaction. Decisions give birth to movement, and movement gives birth to progress. A single decision made with conviction can redirect the course of a life. It is not the size of the decision that matters, but the strength of will behind it. So long as you hesitate, your dreams remain dreams. The moment you decide, they begin to live. Decisiveness is a trait shared by every great achiever throughout history. It is not a talent that one is born with. It is a discipline that must be cultivated, sharpened, and mastered through repeated action. To make a decision quickly does not mean to act recklessly. It means to have confidence in your judgment, clarity in your purpose, and faith in your ability to correct your path if needed. Successful people understand that time is the most precious resource in existence, and indecision is its greatest enemy. Every moment spent hesitating is a moment lost forever, and life does not return the seconds wasted in doubt. The habit of quick decision making is therefore not about impulsiveness. It is about power control and the refusal to be paralyzed by uncertainty. The decisive person stands apart because they understand that progress is born through movement, not hesitation. When a situation demands a choice, they act swiftly, guided by their purpose and values. They do not wait for perfect conditions because they know such conditions do not exist. Those who wait for certainty will wait forever. The habit of making quick, firm decisions is like the muscle of courage. It strengthens each time it is used. Once this mental habit forms, the mind becomes disciplined to focus on what matters, filtering out distractions and unnecessary fears. It becomes an instrument of action rather than an instrument of worry. Most people fail to achieve their goals not because they lack the ability, but because they delay decisions. They keep their dreams on hold, waiting for permission, reassurance, or a sign that it's safe to proceed. But greatness does not come to the cautious, it comes to the bold. The world has never been changed by those who constantly second-guess themselves. Every advancement, scientific, economic, or personal, began when someone decided quickly and firmly to move forward despite the unknown. When you train your mind to decide with speed and confidence, you take control of your destiny instead of leaving it to chance. A quick decision does not mean a careless one. It means you have trained your thinking to process facts efficiently, rely on your intuition, and act without unnecessary delay. The key is not to eliminate doubt entirely, but to rise above it. Every decision involves risk, but so does inaction. The difference is that the decisive person learns from their mistakes, while the indecisive person learns nothing because they never truly begin. Each decision, even the wrong one, sharpens your understanding of life. You develop mental accuracy, better judgment, and stronger willpower, all essential for success. When you cultivate decisiveness, you also project strength to others. People naturally trust and follow those who know what they want and move with conviction. Leaders are not those who have all the answers. They are those who decide quickly and inspire others through their certainty in business, relationships, and personal growth. This habit attracts opportunity because the world rewards clarity and confidence. Opportunities flow toward action takers and away from doubters. The one who hesitates will always watch opportunity pass by into the hands of someone more decisive. To build this habit, begin with small decisions. Make choices promptly in your daily life. What to do next, how to spend your time, where to direct your energy. Each small act of decisiveness strengthens your ability to make larger, more significant decisions. Over time, this becomes second nature. The mind learns to trust itself, and when you reach this stage, no external force can sway your path easily because your inner authority has been established. In truth, decisiveness is a declaration to the universe that you are ready to lead your life rather than drift through it. It sends a message that you are not waiting for destiny, you are shaping it. Every great success begins with a quick, confident decision followed by persistent action. So, build the habit of deciding swiftly and watch how life begins to respond to your courage. The moment you choose with confidence, the world begins to move in your favor. Indecision is the silent destroyer of dreams. It creeps into the mind softly, disguised as caution, reason, or patience, and before you realize it, the opportunity that once stood before you has disappeared. The habit of hesitation is one of the most dangerous mental patterns a person can develop, for it paralyzes the power of action. Every time you delay making a decision, you strengthen the habit of indecision, and habits, once formed, become the invisible chains that bind your potential. Those who live their lives in hesitation rarely understand that they are making a decision every time they refuse to decide. To postpone action is still a choice to remain stagnant. Life rewards movement, not stillness. When you refuse to act, you allow fear, doubt, and procrastination to become your masters. These forces do not need to shout or threaten. They simply whisper, wait, until waiting becomes a way of life. The tragedy is that while the hesitant man waits for the right moment, the bold man has already seized the chance, failed, learned, and tried again until success became his reality. Indecision drains more energy than failure ever could. It breeds mental confusion, emotional frustration, and self-doubt. A person who cannot make firm choices lives in a constant state of inner conflict, pulled one way by desire and another by fear. Such a person's mind becomes like a pendulum, swinging endlessly between two possibilities, never finding rest. This internal war not only weakens one's confidence, but also sends out a vibration of uncertainty that others can sense. People do not trust the indecisive. They may sympathize with them, but they will not follow them. The world follows those who decide. At the root of hesitation lies fear, the fear of being wrong, of losing, or of being judged. But what most fail to see is that indecision guarantees loss in advance. By not deciding, you lose time, momentum, and opportunity. You rob yourself of the lessons that come only from experience. No success in history was ever achieved without risk. Every great inventor, entrepreneur, or leader made decisions in the face of uncertainty. The difference between them and the hesitant majority was not intelligence or resources, it was courage. They understood that even a wrong decision could be corrected, but indecision could not be redeemed. The cure for hesitation lies in clarity of purpose. When you know exactly what you want, the right decisions become easier to recognize. A definite aim acts as a compass, guiding you through confusion. Without such an aim, every option looks both tempting and frightening, leading you to delay endlessly. Therefore, to overcome hesitation, first decide what you truly desire. Then align every thought and action toward that goal. When your purpose is strong enough, doubt loses its grip. Another way to defeat indecision is through the habit of action. Every time you make a choice and act on it, you strengthen the neural pathways in your brain associated with confidence and certainty. With repetition, decision-making becomes effortless. The mind learns to trust itself. You begin to move through life with assurance, no longer crippled by the fear of mistakes. Mistakes, you learn, are not failures, they are feedback, guiding you toward better judgment. Remember, indecision steals not only opportunities, but also peace of mind. It leaves you restless, anxious, and powerless. True freedom comes only when you have mastered the ability to decide and move forward without regret. The world does not pause for the uncertain. It flows with those who dare. So break the habit of hesitation before it hardens into destiny. Decide even if imperfectly. Move even if uncertainly. Life will adjust to your courage. Every step taken in faith strengthens your spirit, while every moment lost in doubt weakens it. The man who decides wins, not because every decision is right, but because he refuses to be imprisoned by the fear of choosing. Courage and faith are the twin forces that give decision its true power. A decision without courage is fragile. It collapses at the first sign of resistance. A decision without faith is empty. It lacks the energy to endure when obstacles arise. When a person combines courage and faith, however, they unlock a mental state that can move mountains. For these two qualities together transform mere intention into unstoppable determination. Courage is the strength to act despite fear, and faith is the conviction that your actions will lead you to your desired outcome, even when evidence has not yet appeared. The truth is, no great decision will ever feel entirely safe. When you stand at the crossroads of change, uncertainty will always surround you. Your mind will present 1,000 reasons to wait, to delay, or to reconsider. Fear will whisper doubts into your ear, urging you to retreat to the comfort of the familiar. Yet, it is at that very moment that courage must step forward and take command. Courage does not erase fear, it overrides it. It says, "I will move forward anyway." It is the voice of strength that reminds you that growth and comfort cannot coexist. Every step toward greatness is a step into uncertainty, but only the courageous make that step. Faith, on the other hand, is the invisible force that sustains the journey once it has begun. It is the ability to see beyond what is and to believe in what can be. Faith is not blind optimism. It is a deliberate mental choice to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. It is the quiet assurance that every challenge carries within it the seed of advancement, that every setback is merely a stepping stone toward success. When faith takes root in the heart, doubt loses its power. A person who truly believes in their purpose becomes unshakable. Circumstances may shift, people may criticize, and temporary defeats may occur, but faith holds the mind steady and prevents it from drifting into fear or despair. History reveals that every remarkable achievement was born from courage and sustained by faith. The pioneers who sailed into uncharted oceans, the inventors who defied ridicule to bring new ideas to life, the dreamers who built empires from nothing, all of them faced uncertainty. But they moved forward because their courage was greater than their fear, and their faith was stronger than their doubt. They understood that life itself is a test of conviction, and only those who dare to act with belief in themselves and their vision ever discover the full measure of their potential. Courage and faith are not reserved for heroes. They are qualities that every individual can cultivate. Courage grows through repeated acts of boldness. Each time you confront fear and act in spite of it, you strengthen your mental fortitude. Faith, likewise, grows through repetition of belief, by training your mind to focus on your desired outcomes and trusting that the universe will support your persistence. When you combine these two powers, hesitation fades away and decision becomes natural. You stop overanalyzing and start trusting your inner compass. You stop waiting for certainty and start creating it through action. When courage and faith work together, a person develops a magnetic energy that draws opportunities and allies into their path. The world seems to conspire in their favor because their inner vibration aligns with success itself. People feel inspired by their conviction and are drawn to their strength. Such individuals rarely lose, for even their failures become lessons that propel them forward. Therefore, to make strong decisions, you must first master the art of believing and daring. Believe that you are capable and dare to act on that belief. Fear will always exist, but courage gives you control over it. Doubt will always appear, but faith transforms it into confidence. Together, courage and faith make you unstoppable. With them, you no longer wait for the right moment, you create it. The bridge between decision and success is action. A decision, no matter how powerful or well-intentioned, means nothing unless it is followed by movement. Action is the lifeblood of achievement, the point where thought transforms into tangible results. Many people make grand decisions but fail to back them with immediate and consistent effort. They plan, they dream, they speak of change, but they never take the first step. The truth is simple: a decision without action is merely a wish. Only through decisive and persistent action does a decision come alive and shape your destiny. The moment you make a decision, you must act on it without delay. Every second of hesitation after deciding weakens the mental resolve you have built. Action solidifies decision. It imprints your choice on the subconscious mind, signaling that you are serious about your intention. When you act quickly, you build momentum, and momentum is one of the most powerful forces in human achievement. Once in motion, your energy compounds, obstacles appear smaller, and solutions begin to reveal themselves. The universe, in a way, seems to respond to your movement, aligning circumstances in your favor. Yet, most people fail not because they make the wrong decisions, but because they do not act on the right ones. They wait for the perfect time, the right mood, or absolute certainty. They think action must follow confidence, but in reality, confidence follows action. You become certain only after you have started, not before. Every small act taken in faith strengthens your belief and builds the courage to take bigger ones. By contrast, inaction feeds doubt. The longer you wait, the weaker your resolve becomes. Fear grows in the soil of delay. Action must also be consistent. A single burst of effort means little unless it is sustained. Success is not achieved by one grand decision or one powerful act. It is achieved through daily, deliberate persistence. Each day's effort adds a new brick to the structure of your success. Many people begin with enthusiasm, but falter when results are not immediate. They forget that every seed takes time to grow. Consistent action, guided by a definite plan and purpose, guarantees progress, even when it is not visible. The secret is to keep moving forward, to build the habit of acting whether or not you feel inspired. Discipline, not motivation, determines success. There will always be moments when you feel uncertain or weary, when your mind whispers, "Wet, maybe tomorrow." But tomorrow never comes for those who listen to hesitation. The most successful individuals train their minds to act immediately and adjust along the way. They understand that progress requires imperfection. You do not need to know every step before beginning. You only need to take the first one. Each action reveals the next. Life unfolds for those who move, not for those who stand still. Action also sharpens decision-making. When you act, you gather experience, and experience strengthens your judgment. You learn what works and what does not. Failure becomes a teacher instead of a punishment. Every effort, even one that seems unsuccessful, contributes to your wisdom and prepares you for greater victories. In this way, Action becomes not just a means to achieve, but a process of becoming, transforming you into a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of yourself. Finally, action inspires faith. When you see progress, no matter how small, you build belief in your own power. That belief fuels more action, creating a cycle of confidence and achievement. The mind begins to trust itself. You no longer doubt whether success is possible. You know it is because you are living it through your efforts. To decide is to claim your destiny. To act is to build it. Never separate the two. A decision without action dies in the mind, but when combined, they form an unstoppable force. Act swiftly, persist endlessly, and let your actions declare to the world that your dreams are not negotiable. Indecision is one of the most silent yet destructive enemies of success. It weakens the mind, drains confidence, and delays progress. While fear and failure are visible, indecision works quietly, paralyzing action before it even begins. It creates confusion, doubt, and hesitation, causing opportunities to slip away unnoticed. Every person who has failed to achieve greatness can trace their downfall, in part, to a lack of decision. The inability to choose and commit is like standing at a crossroads forever, watching life move forward while you remain rooted in uncertainty. Indecision is not just a lack of choice, it is a choice in itself. It is the decision to do nothing. People who refuse to decide allow circumstances, other people, or time itself to decide for them. And when that happens, they surrender control of their destiny. The world rewards those who take charge, not those who wait to see what happens. Every successful person has learned that indecision invites disaster. It allows fear to grow stronger, weakens willpower, and breeds regret. The more you hesitate, the more your mind becomes conditioned to delay. Eventually, hesitation becomes a habit that kills ambition silently. Indecision also destroys confidence. The human mind thrives on clarity and purpose. When you are uncertain, your thoughts become scattered, your energy divided. You begin questioning every move, fearing that one wrong step might lead to failure. But what you fail to realize is that indecision itself is failure. It robs you of time, the most precious resource, and replaces it with frustration and self-doubt. People who cannot decide soon find themselves living by default, reacting instead of creating. One of the great truths of life is that success favors the decisive. Opportunities are fleeting. They do not wait for the hesitant. The person who acts, even imperfectly, often achieves more than the one who waits for perfect conditions. When you delay too long, the moment passes and someone else seizes it. History shows that the great leaders, innovators, and builders of civilization were not always the smartest, but they were decisive. They moved with certainty, even when uncertainty surrounded them. Their firmness of choice gave others confidence to follow. The root of indecision often lies in fear. Fear of criticism, fear of making mistakes, fear of losing comfort. But no one who fears failure can ever experience true success. Failure is only temporary. Indecision is permanent. When you decide boldly, even if you err, you learn, adjust, and move forward stronger. But when you refuse to decide, you stagnate. You neither win nor lose. You simply exist. The mind becomes restless and dissatisfied, knowing it was made for movement, but trapped in stillness. To overcome indecision, one must build the habit of quick and firm decision-making. This does not mean acting recklessly. It means trusting your reason, instinct, and purpose enough to choose without fear. Practice deciding in small matters daily: what to do, when to act, how to proceed. Each small decision strengthens the mind's ability to act in larger ones. Decision-making is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Remember, the greatest danger of indecision is that it makes you a follower instead of a leader. Those who cannot decide are easily influenced by others. They depend on someone else's approval or direction. True leaders, on the other hand, are defined by their ability to make firm choices and stand by them. The world looks to them for guidance precisely because they dare to decide. In the end, life demands movement. You must either advance or retreat. There is no standing still. Indecision tries to deceive you into believing that waiting is safe, but it is not. The longer you wait, the further behind you fall. Every day that passes without a decision is a day lost forever. So, free yourself from hesitation. Decide boldly, act immediately, and trust that each decision will lead you closer to your purpose. The habit of decisive thought will do more for your success than any amount of hesitation ever could. The power of decisive action is the true measure of success. Decisions, no matter how strong or well thought out, are meaningless until they are transformed into action. A plan without execution is nothing more than a dream, and dreams, without the courage to act upon them, fade into regret. Action is the bridge between thought and reality, between intention and achievement. It is the moment when faith is tested, desire is proven, and destiny begins to take form. Every person who has achieved greatness has done so not merely by thinking or deciding, but by acting, swiftly, fearlessly, and persistently. The human mind has a remarkable tendency to generate ideas and intentions, but it also has an equal tendency to delay. This delay is what kills progress. Many people decide they want success, wealth, or happiness, but only a few take the necessary steps to bring those desires to life. They confuse wishing with working, deciding with doing. The truth is that only action has the power to transform. Action gives energy to your decision. It breathes life into your plans. Once you begin to act, your mind aligns itself toward completion. You find new ways, new resources, and unexpected opportunities that remain invisible to those who simply think and wait. Action must be immediate. The longer you delay after making a decision, the weaker your conviction becomes. Every minute spent waiting allows doubt and fear to creep back into your mind. The greatest achievers understand this. They act at once, even when conditions are not perfect. They know that momentum is a powerful ally. Once you take the first step, even a small one, the path ahead becomes clearer. You build confidence with every move, and confidence multiplies with progress. It is better to act imperfectly than to plan endlessly, because time never returns, but lessons from experience always do. The world does not reward those who intend. It rewards those who execute. No invention, business, or idea ever succeeded because someone merely thought about it. It succeeded because someone dared to take the first step when others hesitated. This is the key difference between those who dream and those who achieve. Those who act convert their imagination into reality. Those who wait remain trapped in endless preparation. The act of moving forward, even in uncertainty, separates leaders from followers, doers from dreamers, and creators from critics. Action also refines decision-making. Many people fear acting because they worry about making mistakes. But it is through action that wisdom is gained. Every failure, every setback, and every correction sharpens your understanding. Inaction, on the other hand, teaches nothing. When you act, you engage with reality. You learn, adapt, and grow. Life responds to movement. It rewards those who have the courage to test their ideas against experience. Inaction may seem safe, but it silently destroys your confidence, weakens your spirit, and ensures mediocrity. The habit of decisive action can be developed just like any skill. Start by taking immediate steps toward your goals, no matter how small. Each time you act, your belief in yourself strengthens. You begin to trust your instincts, sharpen your focus, and attract circumstances that align with your purpose. The energy you put into motion through action creates ripples that influence people, events, and opportunities around you. The universe seems to favor those who move with purpose and persistence. Every great success story begins with one bold act of decision followed by relentless execution. The path may be uncertain, the outcome unpredictable, but progress belongs only to those who move. Action transforms fear into courage, doubt into confidence, and vision into achievement. It turns the invisible into visible, the impossible into possible. No amount of knowledge, desire, or faith will serve you until you decide to act upon them. Therefore, never underestimate the power of decisive action. It is the final and most vital step in turning your dreams into reality. Every second you delay, opportunity slips further away. Act now with whatever you have, wherever you are. Let your actions speak louder than your words, and let movement become your greatest ally. Because in the end, success belongs not to those who think, plan, or hope, but to those who act.